Good morning, fastball fans. Welcome to Championship Sunday here at the Peter Hallman Memorial, Kitchener, Ontario. Blair Setford, Joe Todd on Softball Premier TV. Hill United Chiefs about to take on the Australia Steelers. Joe Todd, it's a rematch of the world champions. We saw these two teams on Friday night. Australia edged Hill 3-2 in a 9-inning thriller, looking for another equally top caliber ball game here this afternoon.
I would think this is going to be one of the premier games of the tournament. The Hill United have just done a lot of offense this weekend, 33 hits, scoring 20 runs so far. The Australia team coming in with a 2-2 record. They've also been playing really well in their last couple of games, so this should be a great tilt.
Australia on the diamond very late into the morning. Joe Todd faced the JDT Energy squad last night. Australia coming away with a 6-0 win. The big news in that one, James Toddunder hits for the cycle for the Aussie Steelers. You don't see that too often. Here's the defense for the Hill United Chiefs. Left to right across the outfield will be Quentin Bruce, Brad Ezekiel, and Alan Pecker. And then around the horn, Nick Shales, Shane Boland, Tony Gonzalez, and Edgar Lopez. Justin Schofield is on the board for the Hill United Chiefs. They'll be taking, and he'll be pitching rather, to Luciano Biondi. Offensively, for the Australia Steelers, the aforementioned James Toddunder will lead off. He'll be followed by Matthew Harrell. Marshall Cronk, the designated player, hits third. Jeremy Garland, the pitcher, in the 4 spot, Joe Todd. Boy, a throwback to some old-time fastball. Pitcher in the 4 spot. Josh McGovern, the catcher, hits 5. Matthew Wickham, Jack Burt, Ryan King, and the newcomer, Kynan Molander, playing left field in the 9 spot for the Steelers. Hard-throwing righty Justin Schofield on the board for the Hill United Chiefs. Joe, Schofield's had a pretty good tournament.
Yeah, he's got 8 innings so far, 2 games played in, 2 starts, just giving up 1 walk, 6 hits, and 13 strikeouts in his 2 games.
There's your umpires here. Dave Jackson, Kevin DiDomenico, and Ed Otterman. Toddunder will take his spot at the back of that right side batter's box. And we'll get set, Joe. Semifinal action here at the Peter Hallman Memorial starting right on time at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Great. Love that timing.
Want to welcome the fans down under in Australia. Monday morning, early Monday morning, if I have my times right. In for a strike.
2 a.m. 2:01 right now.
Well, it's either very early or very late, depending on your point of view.
If you're working the afternoon shift, you're here just in time.
Welcome to our Aussie fans, nonetheless. And upstairs and in and out of the glove of Biondi. The Chiefs have rotated catchers, Joe, between Bruno Matroni and Luciano Biondi. Luciano has done most of the catching for Justin Schofield this weekend, whether planned or by coincidence. That's the way that it's worked out.
It's been a real good weekend weather-wise, and it's going to be a lot hotter today too. So they've been pretty well alternating all weekend.
Swing and a miss by Toddunder. It is going to be a physical challenge out there today, Joe. Going to get up to the high 20s if it's not there already, 27, 28 degrees Celsius. Humidex in the mid-30s. Not quite as hot as it was last weekend in Simcoe, Ontario for the Chiefs Challenge, where it was mid-30s air temperature and Humidex into the mid-40s. Toddunder goes around. And an opening strikeout for Justin Schofield. The other semifinal, Joe Todd, yet to be decided firmly in this upper tier. On the diamond adjacent to us is Bear Creek Express and the Dominican Republic. At last check, they were tied at 3. Little dribbler on the infield. Lopez will pick that up. Step on the bag right ahead of Matthew Harrow. And if you're going to get into the game, Joe, that's a nice, easy way to get into it. A nice little slow roller.
And you just love that one to get you right into it. He was down and ready.
Well, Edgar Lopez has been rock solid down at first base for the Chiefs this weekend. Several outstanding plays on his behalf. 2 down, and big Marshall Kronk steps into the plate.
You always want a big target at first base, and he fills that role.
Yeah, he absolutely does. In for a strike from Schofield. Joe, the tier two? How's that?
Sure.
Tier 2
That's
final
better.
is set. Waterdown Hammer and Sandlot from Stevens, Pennsylvania will play in that final. Waterdown fresh off a 3-1 win over the Georgian Bay Giants. That game was tied 1-1 late. Waterdown scoring 2 to pull away for the victory. Kirk Santala over Yuya Yamawaki.
Great to see Sandlot come up and make the trip up here.
Well, they make the final, so it has been worthwhile for them as Kronk swings over the top at the rise ball. Sandlot 7-0 winners on this diamond. Just finished about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes ago, over the Walton Brewers. The Brewers will finish tied for third with Georgian Bay. All 4 of those teams will be making their way to the World Tournament. Starts July 26th. About 25 days away. 27, I guess, in that neighborhood. Change up from Schofield, and a good one. Picks up his second strikeout of the inning. 3 up, 3 down go the Steelers in the top of the first. We'll go to the home half with the Hill United Chiefs coming to the plate.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
For the bottom of the first inning, Hill United Chiefs coming to the plate. There's the batting order. Shane Boland, Brad Ezekiel, Nick Shales, Bruno Matroni in the cleanup spot all weekend for Bruno. Quentin Bruce, Tony Gonzalez, Edgar Pipolo Lopez in the 7th spot. Alan Pecker and Luciano Biondi bats 9th.
Pretty well the same lineup they've gone with all week. Just sometimes you'll see Nick White playing in the outfield.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of in and out in the outfield with White. Bruno Matroni and Luciano Biondi have shared the catching duties, and that is just good coaching, Joe, rotating the veteran legs with the youngster. Joe, you a little surprised Jeremy Garland getting the ball here for the Aussie Steelers?
Well, I kind of thought so, but Bestgrove did pitch almost a complete game last night. I heard he threw 6 or 7 innings.
Well, and that game didn't finish until 2 a.m.
Yes.
Very early this morning, so it'll be tough to ask Jack to come back on just about 8 or 9 hours rest. That's asking a fair bit. Curious choice of uniforms by the Chiefs, Joe. All black when it's going to be 30-plus degrees. I mentioned to Ginger Smith, who does a little bit of everything for the Chiefs, including the scorekeeping. I said, do they not have a set of all whites? And she thought about it for a second and said, no. They got white pants, but they don't have white jerseys,
Yep.
so might be time to invest
Yep.
in some whites for the Hill United squad. They've got the dark grays that they wore yesterday, and then the black with gold pinstripes, black pants here today.
I'm sure the players would love them, especially on these hot days.
Oh,
That white would be a good compliment to their attire.
Shane Boland at the plate, 6 for 14 on the weekend. He's got a home run and 3 RBIs. One hopper down to Jared Bradbury. Jared Bradbury back in the lineup, Joe, but not batting. So I wonder how well that left shoulder has healed up for Jared. We saw him go down on Friday night late in the game on a swing. And I did see him with some tape and that cellophane clear plastic stuff around his shoulder at one point with some ice yesterday.
Yeah, it takes a lot more body rotation when you're swinging that bat.
Bradley Ezekiel, 5 for 15, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs for Brad this weekend, adding to his team-leading totals. Called a strike. If you're just getting in with us here, bottom of the first inning, nothing across for the Aussie Steelers in the top half. Justin Schofield picked up 2 strikeouts. Here in the bottom, a ground out by Shane Boland and Brad Ezekiel. Now at the plate, Blair Setford, Joe Todd on Softball Premier TV. Marshall Kroc, Joe, is up in the right side bullpen for the Steelers early. This one misses downstairs. If we say nothing else about Jeremy Garland this weekend, he'll have our eternal gratitude for working quickly.
Love the speed that he throws that ball at. Gets on the mound, takes a signal, and away we go.
Upstairs to Brad Ezekiel. Maybe a couple more strikeouts this weekend than you might be used to with Brad, but this is top-level competition. There's no walkover teams here that you're facing.
But this is exactly what you're looking for at this time of the year.
Oh, without a doubt. You do not need to be playing a league team here in preparation for the World Cup, the World Tournament, and the World Games. You want to be facing national team level players every weekend. Little unintentional foul off at the plate. Ezekiel, the bat waggles. And called strike 3. Top of the zone. Brad Ezekiel turns and has a quick look before making his way off. You be the judge here. Maybe outside a bit, but Josh McGovern framed it up well.
Stay aggressive with 2 strikes. Protect the plate.
Well, I always like what you said. Don't leave it in the hands of the umpire. Just foul that pitch off if you need to. Nick Shales swings through that one. Bit of a quiet weekend for Nick, Joe. Just 1 for 11 with a run scored. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times and hit it right at people, too. So, bit of bad luck for Nick.
He will get his cuts in.
You know he wants to do well here against his fellow countrymen.
A little side bet, do you think?
Well, again, we've talked about this off and on all weekend, and I haven't had the chance to talk to Nick about it, but he was quite sanguine about not being on the team that went to the qualifier last year because, as he said publicly, I want to see young guys coming up. I don't need to be there in that qualifier tournament. Now, they qualified by the skin of their teeth, but I think we all thought maybe Nick was going to be there come this year. and laces this one out to straightaway center for a solid single. And the way he started the year, Joe, you had to think that maybe that was in the back of his mind. 11 for his first 13, 4 or 5 home runs that opening weekend. Followed that up into Mitchell. Cooled off a little bit, but still hitting the ball very well and impeccable defensively. Whether he's playing third, and he's played a few innings at short, too, when Shane Boland was not down in Wisconsin.
Good mental preparation, too, by Shales.
Always. Bruno Matroni, 4 for 11 this weekend, 3 walks and a big home run against these Aussie Steelers back on Friday night.
Well, these teams will have to do a little filtering on the game changer and see if Bruno bats better at the DP or what he bats as a catcher, or if there's a difference.
It's an interesting proposition, isn't it? Chopper on the infield. Bradbury comes up throwing, and a little errant, but bailed out by James Todhunter, who tags Bruno on the way through. And Bruno certainly not quite with a head of steam there, Joe.
No.
Yeah. That could have been a lot worse, and a good play by Bruno to let off the gas pedal there. Nobody needs any silly collisions at this time of year. Scoreless through 1 complete. We'll go to top of the second. Chiefs and Australia just getting going. To the second inning we go for the Aussie Steelers. Jeremy Garland, Josh McGovern, Matthew Wickham, 4-5-6. Joe, a pitcher hitting cleanup. We talked about it when we ran through the lineup about 10 minutes ago. We don't get this very often, and good to see Jeremy Garland swinging the stick.
Last time I could remember, a good recollection, Brad Underwood.
Yeah, Brad Underwood certainly was in that category. There you see the stats on the year for Justin Schofield, still above the 2 strikeouts per inning average, 3.33 ERA. I think one thing that we've noticed, Joe, about all of the Chiefs pitchers, when they get hit, tends to be a long ball.
Yeah, get hit hard. Just usually getting too much of the plate.
Yeah, the one mistake that they do make, and it ends up going out of the park. This one is laced down the line and left. That's a fair ball. Getting the wave up to second goes Jeremy Garland. And
is it foul? Home run? No, it can't be.
I have no idea what's going on, to be honest. I could have sworn I saw. Well, I guess we're going to see it here.
I think it's foul.
Here's the replay. Just foul.
Yeah.
Boy, not by much. I could have sworn I saw one of the umpires put an arm out this way, but maybe he got overruled by the other one. Eddie Otterman is down the line there on third, so he would have had a great view out of it. We are completely obstructed for what it's worth. In for a strike on the inside corner to Garland.
Quit Bruce playing Garland fairly deep.
He is now.
Yeah.
He's moved back a couple of. Well, now he's just
Now he's
walking in a
coming
bit. Yeah. I can just see him being between all of these window panes and columns. In for strike 3, freezes Jeremy Garland at the plate with the inside rise ball. Get a good look at it here on the replay. Bionde wants that inside and gets the pitch right where he wanted it. Quick conversation here between pitcher and catcher.
And I'm sure that will become a mound visit.
I would have to think so, but Dave Jackson's out to talk with Schofield. Whatever it is, it was humorous nonetheless. Grounds crew, Joe, look like they've done a good job dealing with that minefield out in front of the board there. That was the landing area. It was pretty deep last night. They would have watered that, tamped it down, compacted it. This is already the third game of the day here on the main diamond at Peter Hallman. Sandlot was here for a pair. They beat Kingston Axeman 3-1 in an 8 a.m. game. Down to Nick Shales. Take his time to throw out erstwhile teammate Josh McGovern. Carried the bat with him all the way down to the dugout, conveniently enough. Keep it clean.
The batter will be the right fielder, number 55, Matthew Wickham.
Matthew Wickham to the plate. We talked a little bit about this on Friday night. Matthew Wickham, the ISC2 MVP last year with the Sydney Tropics. And call up to the big team, the Steelers.
Schofield set him up on a real nice changeup there. Usually you don't see that changeup on the first pitch.
Not a lot from Schofield. Looks like he dialed that one back a little bit too. And I wonder, maybe that's what the conversation with Bionde was about when they went out there. Laced out to right. Matthew Wickham aboard with a hard hit single. That's a good bit of hitting, Joe. Kept the hands back. Pitch was outside and took it where it was thrown.
Wickham putting that ball in play.
Center fielder, number 36, Jack Burt.
Schofield willing to take that pitch on the outside of the plate, and Wickham willing to go with that pitch and drive it the other way.
So first hit of the game for the Australia Steelers. Jack Burt, center fielder, steps in. Takes a called strike. Same pitch, same result.
Schofield pitched 4 innings on the game on Friday night against this team, and King faced him just once and struck out.
Swing and a miss there. Jack Burt down on strikes. 4th strikeout of the game, second of the inning for Justin Schofield. That single by Matthew Wickham, stranded at first base. Hill United Chiefs will come to the plate in the bottom of the second. Still looking for the first run in this one.
dream catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Joe, just a quick update for you before we get into the bottom of the second inning here. The Dominican Republic are now up 5-3. That's in the top of the ninth, believe it or not, against the Bear Creek Express, because that's just what this tournament needed, was a long extra innings game here on Sunday afternoon. First pitch swinging by Bruce, and a funny hop over the glove of Matthew Harrow. Came up on Matthew a little bit, was trying to track it down on the backhand. Watch the hop that this takes right there over the glove of Harrow. So Bruce aboard. I think we've both given him a base hit.
Yes.
That'll make Quentin 6 for 13. He's got a home run, a walk, and a stolen base, too, this weekend. He's been busy. Tony Gonzalez, 5 for 9 with a home run. We remarked yesterday, Joe, a couple of times, the bulk of the runs the Chiefs have scored this weekend, home run involved one way or another.
So, in your eyes, is that good or bad?
Well, when you've got the power that this team possesses 1 through 9 and coming off the bench, it's a good thing. The problem with the home run is that they can dry up sometimes.
Yes, and it hurts.
But this team's got the ability to manufacture runs, too. And you go back to the second run that they scored against the Black Sox last night, and Shane Boland coming through with a hard hit ball to drive in a run. And that's past a diving Matt Harrow. Taking a look was Bruce, and now he's going to get back to the bag. Jeff Ellsworth threw up a big stop sign for Quentin Bruce as he got a step around second.
Another good hard hit ball by Gonzalez.
Tony just gets hit after hit after hit.
Coming to bat will be the first baseman, number 9.
Matthew Harrow was playing pretty deep, but it really didn't matter there.
James Todd Hunter, the captain of the infield, is making sure everybody's in the right spot, moving guys around. He's the veteran out there. That immediately 2 hits, and that spurs Marshall Cronk back into action as he gets up out of the dugout, down the right field line to go throw again. Edgar Lopez, 3 for 9, a pair of home runs, and some timely hits, home runs from Edgar Lopez, too. Skipped in by Garland. A good job by McGovern to block that. Joe now 8-3 for the Dominican over Bear Creek Express. They get that many runs, that's going to throw the mathematics into jeopardy as to who's playing whom. It kind of seemed locked in that it was going to be Bear Creek, no matter the result, to take on New Zealand Black Sox. This one is flared out to left. Molander gets under it, and he's got a good arm, too. We saw that the other night.
He's got good wheels, too. Did some nice base running the other night.
He did. Scored the game-winning run. Bruce with a couple of steps off the bag, but retreats back. Alan Pecker to the plate. Alan, 2 for 9, but a walk, a stolen base, and has scored a couple of runs for the Chiefs this weekend. On the move is Bruce, and he's going to come around to score, Joe, as The Chiefs saw something there. Jared Bradbury was well in, and they just turned it into a foot race between King and Bruce. And nobody was at the bag when the ball arrived. You see it there. Bradbury ducked out of the way of it, as I don't think he was expecting to have to make the play. So miscommunication there on the part of the Steelers. Chiefs take advantage. Oh, that skips through the legs of McGovern, but Tony Gonzalez does not advance. You've got to give an E in there somewhere, and it's tough to give it to Josh McGovern, but at the end of the day, it's kind of a throwing error. Nobody else got a glove on it. Yeah. I don't know what else you can do with that. Yeah. Pecker chases one down and away. So they're going to go to the bottom of the ninth, Joe. We're just keeping an eye on that one on Game Changer. Bear Creek has got some work to do, and giving up that many, that might put their spot in the semifinal in jeopardy. Snap throw down to second, and Gonzalez is going to try to get up to third as this one gets away from Matt Harrow, and he slaps the glove in disgust on his thigh.
I think it was a pretty good throw there.
Well, it short-hopped him just a bit, and honestly, Gonzalez getting back into the bag collided a little bit with Matthew Harrow. So the infield now comes in. Pecker obliges with a ground ball down to Todd Hunter, who is able to keep an eye on Pecker, who will make Todd Hunter come down and tag him for the official out. He's entitled to do that as long as he does not take a backward step.
Right.
And I'm looking around for the umpires to confirm that one.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah, you can't take a backward step in fastball. You can in baseball.
Any other bases.
Well, you can do that in baseball, too, from home to first. You can backpedal, but not in fast pitch.
Bottom part of the order getting some work done for Hill United.
Luciano Biondi at the plate, and he has put down a couple of bunt singles, 2 for 5 in limited action, but he's got a double and 2 RBIs as well. But put down a gorgeous bunt single yesterday afternoon.
Doing a good job coming out of that 9-hole. They're just grooming him and mentoring him along.
Yeah, you and I both like the idea of he working closely with Bruno Matroni this year, maybe catching a third, maybe 40% of the games if he can, leading into the USA National and then the ISC World Tournament for the Chiefs. They'll go on a break after this tournament and a walk to the 9-batter.
Garland with 33 pitches so far in the game.
Yeah, that's creeping up still here in just the second inning, the bottom of the second. The Chiefs already 1 run in and still runners on the corners. Pecker will reemerge to run for Biondi. And there's no downgrade there. As well as Biondi runs, Pecker runs just as well. That's an even trade, I would say. Maybe a slight advantage for Pecker. Shane Boland gets his second look at Jeremy Garland here today. On the move is Pecker, throws high, slides in safely. Jeff Ellsworth always aggressive, and the opportunity to come steal a base, and Ellsworth gets the sign on right away.
Green light given Alan Pecker there, and he went immediately off that bag.
Boland is 6 for 14, got into the home run count this weekend. 3 RBIs coming in. A big RBI in the game last night. It was the game-winning RBI. That came in the 4th after New Zealand had tied the game. About a 45.5 footer from Garland, and a good job there by Josh McGovern behind the plate, who always seems to be in the midst of it, Joe, whether it's blocking pitches or wearing a foul ball. Josh is a physical guy.
He must have an ice bath every night. That's
in
not
for a
nice
strike.
bath.
No, it's an ice bath. You're right.
Aussie Steelers have to shut the door here. There can't let this game roll away here.
And through the wickets, and here comes Gonzalez, and the throw was there in plenty of time, but Garland couldn't keep it in the glove, and the Chiefs score another. I think he's going to be out here, Joe, if Garland can keep that in the glove.
Yeah.
Good hustle by Tony Gonzalez. Pecker up into third behind him.
Good job by Garland to get off that mound and come to the plate, because he's the first guy that knows it's going to be a wild pitch.
Yeah, it's got to be his play. You're not going to rely on your corner defenders to beat the runner there. So 2-0 Chiefs, and still threatening here in the second. Shane Boland at the plate. And downstairs, that one gets away from McGovern too, and I'll tell you what, Joe, Josh looks tired.
Yeah.
And the Aussie Steelers, I think, are feeling the effects of being on this diamond until 2 a.m. this morning.
Just not sharp.
Brad Ezekiel called out on strikes, and we know how Brad has responded to getting called out on strikes, Joe. If you're in the outfield, you might want to go looking for a souvenir.
Always willing to equal the scene. When he's looked bad, he always wants to correct it.
I think a bit of a play for time here. McGovern is looking at the glove. Yeah, he's trying to tighten up the laces, Joe. We'll get reset. Garland out on the board. McGovern behind the plate. Bradley Ezekiel in the batter's box. Shane Boland, lone base runner now, out at first. Tony Gonzalez and Pecker running for Biondi have both come around on pass ball / wild pitches. Ezekiel swings and misses at that one.
Gronk back up, warming up again.
Yeah, he's been out there most of the inning. It was like last night with New Zealand. The pitchers threw a game and a half on the sidelines. Liam Potts went the first 2 innings and went down and threw for the rest of the game. Bradley Ezekiel launches this one to straightaway center field, out onto the diamond behind us. Brad Ezekiel. Joe, I hate to say we predicted it, but we called it.
Yeah.
A long 2-run home run off the bat of Brad Ezekiel, and the Hill United Chiefs are powering their way towards the championship game here at the Peter Hallman Memorial.
Brad Ezekiel loves Sunday. Loves playing on Sunday. He loves the limelight.
Well, he goes down and gets this one, too. That pitch is just under the knees. And there's Jeff Goolagong, the Hall of Famer. And just playing for time here, Joe, as Marshall Cronk will finish up his warm-ups. And looks like he's going to make his way onto the field. We'll take a break as Marshall Cronk is going to come in for the Aussie Steelers.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Well, Joe, it wasn't a pitching change. Jeff Goolagong got away with the longest mound visit in history. Garland, about a 42.5-footer to Nick Shales. But Goolagong went out and certainly had a long talk with Jeremy Garland, the rest of the Steelers' infield. Kronk went into the dugout. I thought maybe just to go get a different glove to come out and pitch, but he just said he probably doesn't want any part of it, Joe. It's 30 degrees. Marshall doesn't want to be out there pitching. I'm kidding, of course. Marshall will take the ball under any circumstances. 8-4, a final. So the Dominican and Bear Creek semifinal is over with. What I don't know, Joe, is now who gets to go play the New Zealand Black Sox.
Yes.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. That game will go over on the back diamond here at the Hallman complex. We'll let you know, because the winner of that game and the winner of this one, potentially looking like the Chiefs, will meet up in the final. That is scheduled to go right away.
Yes.
Following the conclusion of those two semifinal games.
I'm sure the tournament organizers are now getting out their abacus to figure out the runs for and against.
Well, I talked to Brad Thompson 40 minutes ago, and he had a lot of figures on a spreadsheet, and the head-to-heads and the runs for and the plus-minus. So they've got all the situations covered.
Brad being a school teacher, so he's well prepared.
Had his lesson plan, you might say.
Yes.
Garland working to Nick Shales. Bases are now empty after that big two-run home run by Brad Ezekiel. And a good thing he didn't hit it right now, Joe. He'd have sent the Dominican team scattering with where they're standing, because that's exactly where that ball landed. Shales fouls this one off on the right side.
Very aggressive at the plate.
Well, and Nick does a lot of what you talk about. Protects the plate, doesn't leave it in the hands of the umpire.
2 balls and 2 strikes right now on the count.
And chop foul at the plate. This little battle here between Garland and Shales continues. And that is knocked out of play. How many foul balls are we up to with Shales here? It's got to be 7.
We'll have to get a pitch count just for his foul balls.
Have you got this one going on Game Changer?
Yes, I do. Oh, I don't have the
Oh,
final.
it doesn't count
No.
individual pitches to a batter, I guess.
Does at the end of the game. No, it probably does not. No, it gives you total pitches. And first pitch strikes, which are so important.
This one well hit by Shales to center field. That one's not coming back either. And Nick Shales goes back-to-back with Brad Ezekiel. Make it 6-0 for the Hill United Chiefs. And a long at-bat pays off for Shales. He gets the home run hat on.
That home run hat has had a lot of work this weekend.
It has got a lot of wear this weekend for sure.
Might have to take that to the dry cleaners and get that cleaned up for the big tournaments coming up in the near future.
Mike Titheridge, the head coach for the Steelers, is out this time.
Marshall's on the mound now.
All right, we'll take another break. We'll let Kronk come in and do his warm-ups, and we're going to maybe add up how many home runs the Hill United Chiefs have hit this tournament.
Marshall Kronk getting his warm-up pitches in now. Final toss back to the catcher, Josh McGovern. Play is just about ready to resume. Now we have another trainer coming out. See what's going on. I think play is just about ready to resume. Blair left us with that train of thought of how many home runs the Hill United Chiefs had over the weekend. That's 11 home runs in the books so far. Bruno Matroni now at the plate. We're in the second inning. Hill United leading by a score of 6-0 over the Aussie Steelers. Four hits this inning by the Hill United Chiefs. 2 home runs, 2 singles. Kronk being very careful, throwing that pitch inside to Montroni. Catching the main part of the plate that time. Matroni just up there gauging him now. The pitch and the release. Hit by Matroni out to second base. Matthew Harrow doing a good job of that, going to his right and making a great play at second base to complete the inning. So the Hill United Chiefs scoring 6 runs in that inning on 4 hits. We'll be back with the top of the third inning with the Hill United Chiefs leading by a score of 6-0.
Dream catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Ryan King, the number 8 batter for the Aussie Steelers, leading it off here in the top of the third inning. Ryan King playing shortstop today. Pretty well all weekend.
Oh, Joe, it's a very short bench for the Australia Steelers as they've got 2-3 players still with their club teams. They'll come over to the Steelers after this event, but Callum Bichelle, Scott Patterson, both playing with their club teams, and they'll be starters for the Steelers next week.
And they complement that top part of the order for the Aussie Steelers as well. Either 1 or 2 in the batting order.
They will be, I think, exactly as you just said, 1 or 2.
Ryan King just level with that home plate area. Schofield high and outside on that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike now to King. Schofield going inside. King not wanting anything to do with that pitch. To me, I think now if I'm Schofield and Bondi, I'm kind of working on a lot of the plate stuff, trying to get my team off the field as quick as I can.
Yeah, that's a real good idea here. Throw strikes, work on what you want to work on, but it's hot out there. Get off the field as quickly as you can.
Big strikeout by Schofield to lead off the top of the third inning. His 5th strikeout of the day.
With 1 out, the batter will be
Kynan Mullender now, the number 9 batter, left fielder. First time we've seen Mullender this weekend. Fouled the ball off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is his Aussie Steelers debut here. Joey impressed us on Friday night. A good arm, really runs well. He had a key base hit in that rally in the 9th inning for the Steelers as they would go on to win that one.
Mullender on a 1 strike call. Schofield with the pitch and the release. Mullender following another ball off. Schofield with 33 pitches so far in the game. We're in the top of the third inning. Schofield and Beyond, you have to be on the same page here. Just missing on that outside corner. High strike, and Mullender going after it for the 6th strikeout of the game. 2nd out of the inning.
Well, he's right on with that 2 strikeouts per inning average, isn't he? He's pretty consistent.
Now we're back up to the top of the order. James Todhunter, the first baseman. Todhunter struck out back in the 1st inning. If you're the Aussie Steelers, you want to get something going. This is the meat part of the order for them. Ball just a little bit off the plate. Asking for an appeal if they swung. Indeed. First base umpire says no. Kevin Domenico. Todd Hunter trying to start a 2-out rally here. Again, pitch high and outside. Beyond, you having trouble trying to get on the same page as Schofield right now. Getting the pitch and the signal. Just missing on the outside corner of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sorry, 3 balls, 1 strike. Pitch coming right down Broadway. Even in the count out to a full count. 3-2 now to Todd Hunter. Todd Hunter has to be aggressive right now. Strike 3 sitting down Todd Hunter on the inside corner of the plate. 3 Ks that inning. We broke that lineup of 2. So good thing for Schofield this inning. 3 strikeouts, 7 so far. We'll be back with the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Back here for bottom of the 3rd inning. Thanks, Joe Todd, for filling in as we were getting all the scores typed in and posted. We're all caught up on social media, and you're all caught up here. Quentin Bruce, first pitch, line shot right into the glove of Matthew Harrell. Right guy, right place, right time, Joe Todd.
Quentin Harrell getting it right on the barrel of the bat. Good solid hit. Good defense there by Harrell.
Tony Gonzalez, single, stolen base, scored on a pass ball. He looks at a strike. Tony hits the bottom of this one. Short left, way out goes Ryan King, and Molander right there just in case.
Good communication there between Molander and King. King was backing his way out. Molander probably had an easier play coming in.
Maybe coming in, although he did have to go a long way for it, Joe, and I think probably the best guy there caught it. Normally you would like your outfielder to take charge on that one, but King had it well in hand. Edgar Lopez cuts through the rise ball from Marshall Cronk.
Marshall Cronk came in the second inning with 2 out in the top of the second. So far, had a pretty good inning of defense behind him, too.
Well, he got the ground ball to Harrow to end the second inning. A line out and a pop-up so far. And Lopez down on strikes. A 3-up, 3-down inning for the Chiefs. Marshall Kronk has come on to do the job for the Steelers and has stopped the bleeding here, at least in the third. Through 3 complete, Joe Todd, the Chiefs out in front by 6. Joe, a couple of defensive changes for the Hill United Chiefs. Blake Hunter comes in to go play third base. Nick Shales moves over to short, so Hunter in for Boland. And Nick White is now in center field for Hill United. He's gone into the Brad Ezekiel spot. A 2-run home run is enough damage by Bradley Ezekiel here early afternoon. I'm sure more to come.
Gives Nick White some more playing time, too, especially with that 6-run cushion now.
And I like giving Nick Shales some more at-bats here against his fellow countrymen, the Aussie Steelers, and get Nick Shales warmed up. A big home run by Nick in the second inning as the Chiefs erupted for 6. Shane Boland is already hitting the ball well. He can use a break. Nick came into this game 1 for 11. The home run, as we said, and a couple more swings won't hurt his confidence whatsoever.
Anytime you get playing time on Sunday, it's good.
Matt Harrow, who's been a busy guy out at second base for the Steelers. Of course, his dad, Lang, a longtime coach of both the Steelers as well as the Spirit. The women's team has coached them in the Olympics.
Good friend of ours.
Yes, he is.
We have
Want to say hello to Lang. I'm sure you may be tuned in or at the very least watching this on replay in Australia.
our paths have crossed a few times in different airports. Schofield with 44 pitches so far in the game. Schofield giving up just the 1 hit so far to Matthew Wickham.
High hopper. Hunter comes down with it, sails the throw, and just coming down on the bag, a half a step too late, was Lopez, who had to get vertical to go get that. Watch it here again. Blake's got to go get it, sets, but the throw's a bit high, and you just see there Lopez up in the air and on the orange bag as Lopez comes back down. Great camera work by Carol Doreste to show us that shot and how close it was at first base. Kevin DiDomenico, great call over there at first base. Line shot, Lopez steps on the bag, double play. Can you believe this guy over there?
Just a cat. Great defense.
Wow, just emphatically stomps on the bag. Absolutely nothing Harrow can do. Just takes off the helmet, the slow walk back to the dugout. And again, great camera work by Carol D'Areste. Pitcher Jeremy Garland in the cleanup spot. We hearken that as a throwback to the days of yore when pitchers, giants like Brad Underwood and Ty Stofflet would bat for. Ty Stofflet actually batted leadoff for a lot of years for his teams, the Sunners. But Brad Underwood always in the 4 spot. Doug Middleton would bat 4th for his teams.
Garland has to get something going here for Ozzy.
This one up to short center. White will call it, make the grab. And what turns out to be a 3-up, 3-down inning for Schofield and the Chiefs in the top of the 4th inning. Some great defensive work by Edgar Lopez. We'll go to the home half with the Chiefs looking to get that magical 7th run here on Softball Premier TV.
Yep.
Kyle Ezekiel makes an appearance at the plate, Joe, in Alan Pecker's spot.
Leading off for Hill United Chiefs will be number 12,
Kyle started on Friday night against the Steelers. In for a strike from Kronk. He's had some pinch hit duty since then. But he was 1 for 3 in the game Friday. Can't catch up to the big rise ball there from Marshall Kronk. Marshall soaked up a fair bit of punishment yesterday, Joe, as the Steelers were on the short end of a couple of big scores. And this one is looped out into short left. Molitor comes on to make the catch. I've been impressed with this young kid defensively, Joe. He's maybe a little bit overmatched on the stick side, but defensively, he's rock solid out there.
Oh, very important to get a good read off that ball, off the bat for Molitor, and he reads it extremely well. Caught that ball. That ball was a tough ball to catch. Ran a long way.
Luciano Biondi walked, came around to score. Well, it was Alan Pecker running in the 2-out catcher replacement rule, but that counts as a run for Biondi. And this is laced out to right field. He's going to make the turn, dig for 2. Here's the throw, sliding in safely. Luciano Biondi turns a single into a double, a hustling double.
He had no hesitation rounding that bag.
No, he got the turn signal from John Hill, put the head down, just kept going, and slides in safe.
Well, the ball's right in front of him, so he can easily see that outfielder had to cross over to get that ball.
Matthew Wickham out in right had to go get it, and that was more than enough open invitation for Biondi. So Blake Hunter at the top of the shop for the Chiefs, on for Shane Boland. Blake, until Bradley Ezekil's home run, Blake had the longest home run of the tournament for about 22 hours. Holds on the rise ball up and out of the zone. Blake hit the top of the dugout on the first base side, the diamond behind us, and his was a grand slam nonetheless. But Bradley's about 8 feet further as it landed just on the fair side. It would have been a single on the other diamond. And this one is looped out into short right, past the glove of Harrow. Around to score easily is Biondi, and there's the 7th run. A real important run there, Joe Todd, for the Hill United Chiefs. And you don't always have to hit them out of the park.
No.
Sometimes you can just manufacture runs.
Yeah, you just hit them where they're not. Big RBI there by Blake Hunter. Big RBI. Huge.
Are you saying that's an important one?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
It's Sunday. Everything's important on Sunday.
Everything's important on Sunday. Indeed. Nick White now to the plate. Nick didn't get into the game other than to run yesterday evening, but this one is going to get fouled off. Carol Dureste in her ninja suit makes sure it doesn't come near the camera. Nick was 0 for 3. Reached on an error against Bear Creek yesterday afternoon. Came around to score. For 2 earlier. Harrow has to struggle to find it and can't. Speed kills. That popped out of the glove, and Harrow is taking a bit of a walk. But there you see Nick White, who's got all the speed in the world. And Harrow just can't find the handle and then throws it wide to boot. Nick White. That's the kind of things that speed does to opponents, Joe. Makes you rush.
Well, Matthew Harrow just kind of peeked a little bit and knew that Nick White was coming down that line, rushed his throw. Little errant.
Blake Hunter up to second on the play, and a pair of runners aboard for Nick Shales. A long solo shot. And you think he would love to do a little bit more damage here. And Joe, honestly, if he gets into one here, that could be the ball game. 7-0 right now for the Chiefs. It's 10 after 4.
Nick's going to work on picking out his pitch.
Bounced in from Kronk, and Josh McGovern will throw down to see if he can catch Blake Hunter napping, but no chance of that.
Kronk with 26 pitches so far since he's come in the game, back in the 2nd inning.
Like I said, the Steelers, Joe, had a bit of a rough go yesterday afternoon. They gave up a lot of runs against New Zealand in a 9-1 loss there, and then got throttled equally. But rallied for that big run, 6 runs last night. That game started just after 11 p.m. as Shales flares this out to right. Wickham, a long run, makes the basket catch. Australia needed that win last night, and they got it. A big performance from James Todd Hunter. Jack Besgrove shutting down the JDT squad. Bruno Matroni, A pair of groundouts so far today for Bruno. In for ball one. That one was about 45 3/4 of a foot, Joe. It skipped just in front of the plate. McGovern, I'm sure, is, mate, don't skip them in.
No.
Just get them to me. A look at the wristband. And Australia has used this in the past, Joe, and it's got a sequence of numbers. And the first one is the pitch, and the second one is location. And they'll change that up inning by inning as well.
Kind of like pitch commas you see in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's a physical version of PitchCom. And that question has come up for softball, Joe, about the electronic devices currently not permitted for use. I would imagine at some point we're going to get to the place where that does get permitted, as certainly as the price of that type of equipment comes down. Right now, it would really only be in the reach of some of the big budget teams, the Hills, the Gremlins Express, JDTs, etc. But when it's a couple of $100
Yeah.
as opposed to a couple of thousand, I could see that question is going to come back to the governing bodies.
Technology will probably prevail.
Bruno Matroni yanks that one foul. I don't know. Personally, I'm of two minds of it. I mean, as you said, technology is likely to prevail there. You can't dial back technology. You can't unring a bell. So it's going to happen sooner or later. The technology in the bats and the balls has improved exponentially over the years. This is likely just another step forward. Bruno Matroni again into no man's land, and that's going to land in. One run comes around. Blake Hunter in to score. Nick White gets up to third. I'm sure he would have loved to test somebody's arm, but the stop sign from Jeff Ellsworth. It was a big swing from Matroni, and if you read the swing, maybe you're frozen for a step, but nothing that Matthew Wickham or Matthew Harrow could do on that.
Couple of balls just hitting the Bermuda Triangle today.
Exactly. Quentin Bruce, a line shot right to Matthew Harrow, his last trip in the third. And this one is drilled, and that will be the ball game. Quentin Bruce ends it in style with a line shot home run.
Big punch there by Quentin Bruce. Closing this game off.
A walk-off shot from Quentin Bruce, so to speak. The Hill United Chiefs pile up the runs here on the Steelers early in the afternoon on Championship Sunday, and the Chiefs will be in that championship game a little bit later this afternoon here on Softball Premier TV. An 11-0 win, emphatic for the Chiefs. Stick with us here on Softball Premier TV. Watch on social media. We'll let you know an approximate game time, but you're going to see some more of the Chiefs here from the Hallman Memorial Tournament. Blair Sedford, Joe Todd will be back this afternoon to bring it to you.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.